Okay, we are here. This is a big day. This is a great day, actually. It's really rewarding for people to see young people, the youth of America, applying themselves into something they believe in and are actively engaged in. So I am proud to introduce Marisa and Abigail, two of the founders of the League of Women Voters of Ozaukee County Youth Group, correct? Or how do I have that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about starting up this organization.
So I can go first. Hi,
Okay.
my name is Marissa, and I am
One
going
S.
1S, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And I am going to be a senior next year. And I sort of joined the youth group because I have always sort of had an interest in politics, which is kind of rare for someone my age. But
Yep.
I always thought about how important it is, number one, for once I get the opportunity to be able to vote, but then
Hmm.
also to educate some of my peers who don't think it's as important that it is something that's really important. So I'm going to turn it to Abigail because she was kind of the kickstart to this group.
Abigail with a tan.
Yes, hopefully soon. But my name's Abigail. I'm from Mequon. I am almost done with being a senior in high school. I'll be attending Wellesley College next year. So I cold called the League of Women Voters of Ozaukee County President, Christy Schwann. I don't know what gave me the energy to do that, but it was kind of fun being the catalyst for getting a youth sector involved with the League of Women Voters of Ozaukee. So I just called her. I said I'd like an internship. She said we don't do internships. I said okay. So then I spoke at their kickoff event, and that's where I met Marissa. That's where I met Jane, and just a lot of really great other young women who are youth and who want to be involved in the voting process. So it's been just so much fun getting to know all these young women and the older women who've been supporting us through all of it.
Yeah. I didn't just show up randomly one day.
Yeah.
I knew our sort of advisor, Miss Victoria Benson Ora,
Oh,
and
I know. I know her well.
um and my family is good friends with hers. And one day I was talking with her and she was like, I think I have something that you might be interested in. And I was looking for something at the time of like to get active in our community. So when she brought up the League of Women's Voters of Ozaukee, I was like, oh, sure. Like, I didn't ask any questions. I was like, yeah, this sounds great. And then, as Abigail said, it was like our Kickstart event of the year where I met her and got to hear about her experience. Number one, sort of like coming up with the idea of the group, but then also she was a delegate to go to Girls Nation, which is
Oh,
through Badger Girls State. It's something done by the American Legion, which I will be going to this summer now. But she was chosen as a delegate to go to DC and be
wow.
at Girls Nation, which was
Yeah.
crazy to me. So
Well, that's cool.
yeah.
Tell us, Abigail, what's Girls Nation about?
Yeah. So
Besides something that all the Boys Nation wants to know about because they want to know where all the girls are. But anyway,
yeah. No, that is very true. So Girls Nation is sponsored by the American Legion Auxiliary. So two delegates from each state in the country who go to their respective ALA Girls State end up attending Girls Nation. So I was one of two of about 600 people from the Badger Girls State who ended up getting selected to go to Girls Nation. So I spent a week in Washington, D.C., just meeting with politicians, meeting all these like very politically oriented younger women. And we made bills, we ran a federal government. Um, and yeah, I got to meet my senators. I had a run-in with my congressman, but
uh-oh.
he didn't see me. So it's okay.
Oh,
I just said hello. He
a
didn't hear
running.
me. Yeah.
Sounds like a drive-by.
Near the elevator,
Oh,
to be that cliche, but it was just a fantastic experience, and fingers crossed that Marissa, gets through the
Hopefully.
process
Yeah.
yeah.
this year, so
Is that Glenn Grothman?
yes.
Oh God, I don't blame you for not talking to him. Oh man, okay, he's gruff. So excellent. It sounds like a blast. So you got to meet the senators.
I did, Senator Johnson and Senator Baldwin.
Nice. And how did you find them personally? When you get to meet them in person, you only see them on camera most of the time. What was it like?
Well, I had met each of them prior because of another program I was involved in.
Oh my God, you're in
So
everything.
I try.
You're a machine.
Yeah. But Senator Johnson is so tall. And I'll be honest with you, like I'm 5 foot nothing, like I'm very short. So I was so intimidated because I'd only seen him in interviews. But yeah, he looks the same as he does on camera. And then
Fake it.
Senator just very like tall. I don't
Well,
know. Tall and a little intimidating, to be honest.
good. Okay. And what about Tammy Baldwin?
I also was able to recognize. We had appointments with them, so we knew what time to get there, but
Hmm.
she was just so nice. They were both incredibly nice to me, which was very nice because as like a teenager who likes politics, not everyone's going to be nice to you about it. But she was really kind. So
Excellent. Excellent. So I have to go back to the first thing you said, Abigail. And don't worry, Marissa, we didn't forget about you. I just want to, there's one thing I have to follow up here. You said you cold called the leader of the League of Women Voters. How the heck did you know how to do that? How did you get her name? How did you do that? What were you talking to friends? Did you say one day you said, wake up, I got to call the League of Women Voters? What did it? What drove that?
this is so embarrassing, but I remember
Good. We'll remember it then.
good. But in AP US history, which was my favorite class I took in high school, we actually read about the League of Women Voters and
Okay.
how it's one of the or like oldest pro democracy organizations in our country. And I was like, this is really cool. So I wanted to get involved with it on a local level because I've done a lot of like policy oriented activism, but I kind of wanted to do something that's more community oriented. So I went on the website, I found the president's phone number, and I was like, you know what? Like, I'll just call. So
Nice. So, Marissa, how are you finding the organization? Do you like
Um,
it? Is there
I
stuff
love
to
it.
do?
Yeah, there is stuff to do. We kind of started off at the beginning of the year. We had the opportunity to go and help out a local like brownie troop in like the Grafton area. They were introducing something called their democracy badge. And they invited us to come and sort of help these girls sort of learn a little bit about the importance of number one, voting and being active in our democracy, but then also just talking about why it's so important. And I think that was a really fun thing. Like we did some crafts with them, we read them some books, we did like a mock voting of like what's your favorite snack, to see how it turned out with their
Hmm.
other girls in their troop. So that was a really fun thing to go and do. But then I can say probably for both of us, one of the really exciting things was here actually at the library, we held a nonpartisan panel discussion with some candidates for District 60. Regarding how they ran for office. So we got to meet with Dan Larson and Samuel Krieg, and that was really cool to be able to show everybody who came that we are able to have a nonpartisan discussion and that it's not as polarized as it may seem, which I thought was really cool.
Very cool. You two are blowing my mind. Not only are you young and smart and involved, but you are all for the nonpartisan thing. We need you to lead and get those old farts that are all encrusted in their positions. Get them out of there. You are the present, like your thing says. You're not the future. You're not just the future. You're the present, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
our little motto is "We are the now." Talking about youth vote, which is why we're really excited. Actually, on June 14th, we are hosting a Flag Day celebration downtown Cedarburg at the Student Union, and we are going to do like some Flag Day trivia. We are going to have free voter registration assistance, sort of looking for newly graduates to come, but of course everybody is welcome. But
Hmm.
sort of to get the word out again about voting, and then also just have a good time and just celebrate Flag Day.
And you bring up a good point. You're a walking good point, Marissa, because you're not 18 yet.
I'm not, no.
And you won't be till next year sometime, right? You're going to be a senior. Yet that didn't stop you from joining and getting into it, right?
No,
I mean,
yeah.
so this isn't only for people who are 18 and can register. It's for people who want to know what's going on or should want to know what's going on.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's really important is that voting the importance of voting is not just for something that you come out and realize when you turn 18 that, oh, I got to go and register for this. I'll put it off. I think it's important for people to recognize that it's something that you shouldn't put off. And it is one of our civic duties. And that it's important, even if you can't vote, to encourage your peers to vote, to encourage people who may not think that voting is that important, that it is. And it's really worth it to invest your time into looking who your candidates are that you may be voting for, where you can get registered to vote, what polling place do you have to go to. And I think it's just good to have this group to sort of start that conversation.
You bet. How tall are you, Marisa?
5'3".
5'3". Okay, you're 5'3", and Abigail's 5 feet. If we put Abigail on your shoulders, and you guys could see over Ron Johnson, you guys should be in there instead of Ron Johnson. I think you guys do a better job, the two of you. You're a couple of dynamos, for God's sakes. That's fantastic. So, all right. So Flag Day. What else? Are you have any other activities you have planned? Or before you even answer that, say someone sees this, they're interested. What's the best way for them to get involved with your group?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say there are two things you can do. We have a Instagram, and we are open to people like direct messaging us. Just a quick plug: it's LWVOZ _youth vote group. But otherwise, we also have the League of Women Voters website, which is lwvozaukee.org. So if people go on there, there's a contact us form. Reaching out to Christy Schwann or any other of the board members for that matter. They're very responsive via email. So anyone of any age, as long as they are 16 or older, can be a part of our group, can be a part of the league. Marisa and I are fully functioning members of the League of Women Voters. Yeah. We just have a student designation.
Great. Okay. Is there any limit to your membership? Is everyone welcome, or?
Everyone is welcome, regardless of gender.
Yeah, I think
really?
that's a point to bring up. The League of Women's Voters, even though the name kind of turns some guys away because they think it's only a women's organization, it was called that because it was for women's suffrage and getting the right to vote for women. Mm-hmm. So the name sort of stuck because that's how it started. But we have a lot of male members as well in our Ozaukee League, and we are welcome to all people.
Excellent. That's cool. All right. What haven't I asked you that we should talk about?
Let's think. What else did we do this year?
We observed elections.
We did. We observed elections and opened that not only to us, a part of the youth group, but also some other kids at the high schools in our area who were able to go and observe voting, which is pretty cool.
What do you do when you observe voting? What's that? What does that entail?
Yeah, so you have to go in and, of course, we had to email somebody. Tracy Setti, I believe.
That was for Cedarburg, right?
For Cedarburg, I know. She is sort of in charge of that. So we emailed her and asked permission to observe. And then you wear like this little tag that says observer so people aren't looking at you weird, like what's this person doing walking around, Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And while we were there then, we kind of just got to sit in the middle and talk to some of the people who were running some of the stations about what the steps they were going through and what they were doing there essentially. Which was pretty cool. And it was when it was the Supreme Court election when I went. And that was really cool because for me, like I go to the town polling area just because of where I live. But I went to the city of Cedarburg's polling area. And I think it was so different because like I have always gone with my mom or like my sister when they went to go and vote. I would just go and walk in with them, Mm-hmm. And I think it was cool to see, of course, at like the Supreme Court elections, but also like the primaries about how many people actually showed up because it was like groundbreaking this year in Wisconsin for the amount of people that showed up. And it was cool to just see that firsthand.
Okay.
Yeah, that was sort of my experience.
Yeah, no, excellent. Well, you two are kind of like freaks of nature because you're so smart and so involved. But normal people, what do you think, honestly, was the tipping point for normal young people in the United States to start? I mean, it's different now. People are involved. They voted more and they're turning out more to vote. They're more interested. What caused this groundswell of that?
I think there's a variety of factors. I think with a lot of the Supreme Court decisions this past session, I think that was a big factor, but also something that the league has been focusing on specifically is the issue of gerrymandering. And I think a lot of people feel that their voice has been suppressed over this past year, whether it has to do with especially in Wisconsin. The whole ballot box issue, just like all these ID restrictions and things like that. And I think the fact that people feel so suppressed by current restrictions on their voting, as well as like their voice being kind of like declining because of that redistricting, I
Mhm.
think that was a big factor as to why more people thought, well, now I really need to get my voice out there before
Mhm.
I get repressed even more by whatever laws we have going. So
Mhm.
I also think that organizations like ours and others, there was a huge effort to get people on college campuses to vote,
Mhm.
especially for the Supreme Court election. They serve 10-year terms on our state Supreme Court, which is crazy. Like, that is one of the longest terms that a judge can serve unless they're tenured. So I think that was really important too, especially with our current political landscape.
Yeah, and another thing that like we as the youth group want to focus on this year, our sort of focus was of course about the voter importance, but when looking at the youth vote, some of the biggest topics or like driving points for people to go and vote are number one, like Abigail said, like gerrymandering and feeling that their vote matters, but also environmental issues, economic issues, and then also equality. So in the next coming year, our hope for the youth group is, of course, still to spread the word about voter education, but now also to move forward and have another like pinpoint focus on environmental issues, and then hopefully the year after that, look at equality and just sort of have like this rotating motion of different topics each year, but of course still having the overarching theme of the importance of the vote.
Triple E,
Yeah.
equity, environmental, and elections, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that works. Yeah, yeah,
You could be
yeah,
a part of
sure.
the league.
Yeah, whatever you say. Yeah. Is there an age where you get bounced from the youth up to the regular league or the League of Women Voters? Is there like a when you turn 21, you're out of the youth and into the national group, or is there anything like that?
Yeah, so we're technically part of the regular league, but because we are still students, so I will be a student member until I'm no longer a student,
Okay.
in college, high school, whatever that entails. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just a pricing difference, quite honestly. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we can do anything in the national league and we can do anything in the state league.
Do you
Yeah.
foresee yourselves being part of this organization for onward in your life, in your
I
lives?
do. Yeah.
Me too.
Okay, cool. Good. You're not just short timers then. That's good.
No.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Great. Okay, well, I'm very impressed with the two of you. You're not only intelligent and eloquent, you can sit in a room with Bulldog, and that ain't easy because he is just a pain to put up with. So I'm very, very, very proud to have met both of you. It's wonderful. Really, you guys are great. And keep it going. So what, Flag Day, it's the 14th. It's next Wednesday,
Yep.
right? And
Mhm.
what are the hours?
I
Uh-oh.
believe.
4 to 6 p.m. next Wednesday, the 14th. Okay, I think the compliments went to your head there, ladies. God, you handle all the stuff that you can handle our senators, and you don't know what time the Flag Day thing is. Oh my God!
Thanks for coming in the clutch.
Yeah.
You really helped us out there.
Oh yeah, you have people that take care of those details for you. But you'll be there, and you'll be there to talk to people if they're interested. There's no pressure to join or anything. It's just come and see what's going on, right?
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
can sign them up to join. We can give them our information, give them the
Mhm.
league's information, whatever they need.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anything else? Would you like to say about the registration or what's going on in the world or anything like that?
I don't really have anything except for thank you for having us today. It's really an honor to be on this show and have us talk about something that we both find or are passionate about.
Okay. Well, here's the thing I find passion. We have passion. Everybody on our show gets asked this question. It's the very first question usually people get asked. But since you're so with it that we didn't want to start with it. But the question is creamy or chunky for peanut butter?
Creamy.
Crunchy.
Oh.
Democracy in action right there. We got one vote for each. Cool. All right. And that's we favor the crunchy, but that's all
Yeah.
right. You're okay, Abigail. You've done
Thank
your
you.
work. You're okay. We'll let you hang on. Okay, cool. Well, thanks very much, and keep up the good work, and come back anytime.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you so
you.
All
much.
right. Yep. Take care.
You as well.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.